Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the TTV News with some last events in our province, and here are our stories today. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning of March the 27th of 2023, Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc, Chairman of the People's Committee of the TayNinhTV Province, chaired the regular meeting of the Provincial People's Committee to comment on many contents related to the implementation of the task of developing the socio-economic development in the first quarter of 2023. The People's Committee of the TayNinhTV Province gave opinions on the following contents: the implementation situation of the socio-economic development plan, the estimate of the state budget's revenue and expenditure, the construction of the first quarter and the task of the second quarter of 2023. Some other contents include the implementation plan of the National Target Program on Socio-Economic Development of the ethnic minority areas in the province in the period of 2021 to 2030 and phase 1 from 2022 to 2025. The socio-economic in the first 3 months of the 2023 achieved some positive results. Agricultural production mainly focused on planting the winter-spring crop in an area of more than 100,000 hectares, reaching nearly 96% of the crop plan up to 4.7% over the same period. The index of industrial production was estimated to decrease by 0.3% over the same period. Export turnover reached $1,176 million, reaching nearly 17% of the plan, down nearly to 20% over the same period. The bright spot in the first quarter is that was the disbursement progress of public investment capital. The estimated disbursement of public investment capital reached nearly 22% of the plan assigned by the Prime Minister, reaching more than 90% of the plan assigned by the Provincial People's Council. In trade, services and tourism, the total retail sales of goods and service revenue were estimated at more than 26,000 billion Vietnam dong, up more than 11% over the same period. The total tourism revenue is more than 980 billion Vietnam dong, reaching to 55% of the plan, up to 88% over the same period. The policies on social security that take care of the people's lives are also concerned. The shortage of medical insurance of work is overcome. The recruitment and call-up systems to enlist in the Army in 2023 are guaranteed according to the said plan. The national defense security is guaranteed and not hotspot of the broader area will occur. Mr. Duy Văn Thắng, Vice Chairman of People's Committee of the TayNinhTV Province, suggested that the department, branches and localities overcome subjective difficulties, consider the progress of disbursement of public investment capital, especially the capital allocation, increase the budget's revenue. Meanwhile, Mr. Võ Đức Trong, standing Vice Chairman of the People's Committee of the TayNinhTV Province, also suggested that the department and localities focus on implementing the task in the second quarter of 2023. Delegates also attending the meeting continue to give opinions on other issues.
In the afternoon of March 27th, the Standing Committee of the TayNinhTV Provincial People's Council held a press conference to inform the press agencies of the time and contents of the program of the 7th session of the 10th Provincial People's Council. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Phong, Deputy Chairman of the Provincial People's Council, chaired the conference. This is a thematic session opened at 7:30 a.m. on March 31st, 2023 at the hall of the TayNinhTV Provincial Party Committee. The meeting is scheduled to take place in one session. The session will also conduct additional elections for the position of Deputy Head of the Committee of the 10th Provincial People's Council for the 2021-2026 term.
And in the first quarter of 2023, the main task of socio-economic development is to launch activities in all fields. Despite difficulties and low growth targets, the economy continued to recover positively. Especially, trade in services has prospered. Tourism is a big bright spot. Investment in the whole society is also increasing. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc, Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, said that wasn't until the second quarter that the indicators would be confirmed. Therefore, more specific solutions are needed. GDP in the first 3 months of the year fell by 2.21% down from 2022, and the growth rate was slow due to the difficult influence of the world market fluctuations. At the March regular meeting held online on the morning of March the 27th of 2023, the Provincial People's Committee and leaders of departments and localities specifically analyzed problems and limitations. The index of industrial production is estimated to decrease by 0.3% over the same period due to the decrease in the number of orders and the size of the orders, and the production activities of many enterprises are becoming more and more difficult. Businesses operate in moderation to maintain labor resources. Others have had to suspend operations. Domestic and foreign investment attraction decreased sharply over the same period also. According to Mr. Yu Vang, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, disbursement of high public investment capital will activate a series of indicators. The failure to do so will have the opposite effect. The disbursement of public investment capital in the second quarter must achieve an increase at least 60% or more. Due to the small scale of the province's public investment capital, it is not necessary to wait until the fourth quarter to fully disburse. The sectors and localities as project investors must pay great attention, focus on implementing, removing, and ensuring the progress of key projects in the public investment portfolio, especially transport infrastructure projects, where to focus on solving that place, whose responsibility must be clear. The chairman of the Provincial People's Committee emphasized that the branches and localities should actively review and speed up the consultation progress on the implementation of the contents and projects in the work program of the Provincial People's Committee in 2023, the work program of the Provincial Party Committee and Standing Committee of Provincial Party Committee in 2023, action plan to implement the resolution of the 13 National Party Congress and the resolution of the 11 Provincial Party Congress also.
On March 27, the Military Party Committee of the Ninh Province held a conference to research, learn, master, and implement the resolutions of the Central Military Commission in the framework of the Party Committee and Armed Forces of the province. The rapporteur disseminated 6 resolutions of the Central Military Commission on the leadership of military science until 2030 and the following years, on the leadership over technical work until 2030 and the following years, renovating education and training work to meet the requirements of the task of building the army in the new situation, military logistic work to 2030 and the following years, improving the quality of training in the period of 2023-2030, improving the quality of training in the period of 2023-2030 and the following years, and on the leadership over financial work until 2030. Colonel Đỗ Thành Việt, member of the Standing Committee, Deputy Political Commissioner of the Provincial Military Command, requested the party committees of agencies, units, and localities with a roadmap for implementation close to the functions, tasks, and actual conditions, demonstrating the determination to innovate, be creative, and have high feasibility, contributing to building the provincial armed forces to be strong in terms of politics, ideology, and organization.
To support the people and businesses to borrow capital to restore and develop production and business. Over the past time, following the direction of the government, the State Bank of Vietnam, the credit institution in the province has restructured the repayment term, stamped it, and reduced loan interest and kept the same debt for 2,978 customers with a total principal outstanding of 3,145 billion Vietnam dong. The implementation of the 2 interest rate support policies in accordance with the Decree number 31 of the government and Circular number 3 of the State Bank of Vietnam in the province until December 31st of 2022. The supported interest amount is about 855 million Vietnam dong on the sales of interest-supported loans for 495 billion Vietnam dong. 14 commercial banks have reduced lending interest rates for existing loans to 110,331 customers and outstanding loans to 42,953 billion Vietnam dong. The reduced profit is 144 billion Vietnam dong. And in 2023, a number of commercial banks have programs and credit packages with the preferential interest rates to support the customers in specific fields and industries. And following the direction of the Provincial People's Committee and facing the potential risks of the bird flu disease spreading to a large area, the Provincial Border Guard Command has directed the entire force to strictly control this disease right from the border gates.
Along the provincial border, poultry control is focused and promoted on cases of illegal cross-border movement of animals and animal products, especially poultry and poultry products are strictly controlled.
The Border Guard Command has detected border guard posts to coordinate with the local branches and levels, actively propagate and mobilize the people not to participate in public transport immediately to the border guards. At the same time, border guards posts have also closely coordinated with the medical quarantine process and local medical forces to strictly patrol and control border areas and border gates to prevent the people from being transported apparently cross-border.
During the propaganda process, the provincial border guard forces focused on mobilizing people to raise their awareness not to abet the transportation and trading of animals and animal products, especially poultry and poultry products illegally imported in the province. The good news is that so far no violation has been detected in the border area.
And ladies and gentlemen, for several months, the people living in Long Trung Quarter, Long Thành Trung Ward, Hoa Thanh Thao have complained about the activities of the gai chi, union and garlic production and processing establishments with a smell affecting the daily life of the people. Previously, the gai chi business Houghton has an onion and salted garlic processing facility located in Quarter 3 Long Hoa Wards, Hoa Thanh Thao, and from December the 19th of 2022 to present, gai chi business Houghton moved its operation base to Long Trung Quarter, Long Thành Trung Ward, Hoa Thanh Thao, and at a new location, the people living near the gai chi facility complained about the smell of fried oil, onion, and garlic affecting the health and daily life. When the frying and cooking establishment has a smell that flies into the people's houses and can't come out, it hangs around in the house from the time of work until it stops. Sometimes it takes a few hours to come out, and the people can stand that. My house is already in and can't come out, and why it is closed all day and night like that. It's stuck into the room and stretched in unbreathable. The clothes are smelly. Every time the door is open and closed, it stays in there. The air conditioner can even solve the problem. Sometimes we are not used to doing the unions well, but it affects me in the long run. But it's the work I have to do to make my living. According to the Certificate of Business Houghton registration issued by the Department of Finance and Planning of Hoa Thanh Thao to the gai chi business Houghton about the processing of fried onions and garlic, it is a condition business only works when meeting the condition prescribed by the law. But during the operation, this onion and garlic processing facilities was complained by many people and submitted to the People's Committee of Long Thành Trung Ward about the air pollution. The smell always passes and then stops, but not all the time. Some people say nothing, but some say yes. And before reflecting like that, I also try to fix this. I don't know what to do. In fact, the smell is not worth for it at all. By working, gai chi facility also promises to overcome the bad smell of onions and garlic, also install an water treatment system and treat wastewater outside. The owner of the facility also has a commitment for a period of 2 months to overcome. The delegation also went to survey the fact that gai chi facility has installed a wastewater treatment system. After operation, it will check in it, and if it is successful, it will be accepted and put into use. For the order treatment, the facility said that it has not been able to contact investors that have not installed it yet. The owner also promised to find another investor to install it as soon as possible, and through a work commission, the work committee will continue to report to the town with the gai chi facility. In the near future, will treat the wastewater and order as soon as possible, ensuring the people's lives. And Mr. TayNinhTV also added, while waiting for the gai chi business Houghton to install environmental protection measures, the local government suggested that the gai chi business Houghton only operate at a specific time frame in the morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., in the afternoon from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., and at the same time continue to install a complete odor and wastewater treatment system. If the facility fails to do so, it will be forced to suspend operation. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all for the TTV News today. Thank you for joining with us and see you next time.